Top of morning, ladies. My name is Jacksepticeye. Or sorry, wrong intro. Sorry. Welcome to my first ever What If. And this one is called What If Deku Was Darkness Slayer. So this one is like he has a same aim, like motivation thing, whatever that's called, as where is he? As Bakugo, but he has, of course, we all know this, like these stories of, or we always do start with Zuko being born and all that stuff. Well, Zuko was born with this quirk called Infinity Zero Everything. But it fused with his body so that no one can even understand him. So he was, at first, when he reaches 4 years old, his parents decided to take him to a quirk doctor. And so he tells him that he doesn't have a quirk. So then his parents decided, hold on, before I go too far. In my what if, Zuko's parents decided to get rid of him if he was quirkless, like abandoning him. So then when they heard that he was a quirkless, they abandoned him and told him never to come back to them ever again. So then Zuko, of course, in this what if, Zuko is quite like different from others. Like he could sense his own quirk inside of his own body. Like in this what if, his quirk fused inside of him, like inside of his own blood and his own power, or his own body. So his entire body is a quirk, so no one could ever sense it. So he, at day he's all kind, heartening, but at night he's totally different. So, sorry, I almost because so when Zuko discovered his own power, like he was sad, but he looked at, or I'm just using this. This is what I drew. So Zuko's is like, okay, well, my parents don't want me anymore. And this what if is so like weird. So is this thing on? Okay. I was just checking. So Zuko was like, okay, have fun. So then Zuko's parents had another kid right after. And she was quite, like, had the same quirks as her parents, Zuko's parents. Oh, there's the image that I wanted. So then Zuko, so Zumi was born. She was such a cute toddler. So she had the same quirk as her parents did, like fire and mind control thing. So then and Zuko had 3 friends: Bakugo, Momo, and Jiro. I know that I say that in a couple of my other videos, but sheesh. And so Zuko has always been, or had these, or some, like, suspicion going around. Like, Zuko's, or actually his pro hero name, or mystery villain is actually Darkness Shadow. Full Darkness Shadow. That's what his super villain or mystery villain or anti-hero is called. So he goes, or when he's in that form, he like totally kills all the robbers, thugs, all those common ones really fast. But then when that's only at night. But at day he's all kind hearted and he's like, hey, have fun. Kind. He did this for, I'm trying to think. I'm doing the math. So Zuko was 4, but then he did it until he got to 15, so 11 years. He was doing it for 11 years of his entire life. So when he went to do the like 2 pro heroes thing, or UA, he's so like calm, or at day he's so calm, that's what he looks like. That's what he's so calm, like, because his intelligence, Zuko's intelligence passed everybody's, because how smart he is, and during that robot thing, he actually did, like, he says, that's fun, as he got into class 1B because the Zuko couldn't like fight properly, so he was so kind-hearted and All Might could sense something in Zuko. So then, in my what if, they had like kind of like it's similar to Dragon Ball Z. You know that one that they put over their eye, that green monocle thing, and they scan the power level thing. It's just like when they saw his power level is 31,000. Or they scanned everybody else's, but then he left before that, even that scan thing scanned him. So he left, and then he got into class 1B, and then Heroes vs. Villains, they put together, because after everybody like threw a ball. I'm skipping that part of a test part, the one that Quirk assessment test. Yes, he says, as he threw it so hard, it landed in infinity. Like, and no one could figure out reason why is he. So then they had no suspicions about the student behind it. But Zuko, hold on. In his day, that one, he was like, come on, let's go. Let's have some fun, shall we? Kind. Where is it? But at night, he becomes like this one. So then, and he did that for many years. He actually chose that costume to be, and his supervillain name was, or superhero name was Darkness Ultimate Shadow. Or Darkness of Infinity, if you want to. Because I chose that name. So every Class 1A, or no, Class 1B asked Zuko, why did he choose that? As he says, well, I'm such a mystery. Who knows with them? Or plus with that crazy robber or villain or whatever his name is, running around killing all those villains off. Huh? That what I heard, he was so powerful. That's what he said. He was so powerful that even probably All Might can't even beat him in one-on-one. So then every student is like, what? So I'm just checking. So he or his that's what's at school. So when at his house or at Zuko's parents' house, so Inko and Sashi was like, oh, what's on the news? And when they heard the psychopath creep or villain killing all the other villains, they're like, what's going on? It's crazy. So then when Uku, his sister saved Bakugo. So, before her, so his sister, oh, sorry, I'm doing something at the moment. So, in this what if, Izumi, that girl that I showed you in earlier, where is it? Where is she? So, Izumi, at a time, of course, she saved Bakugo instead of Deku. So, and, class 1B, picture in your head, Zuko replaced one of these characters. Mostly, I'm trying to think. Mostly him. So he bumped up to class 1A, and then so then when Zuko, it always gets like upset because of that guy that's wearing black, whatever that's called. This guy. Because he always tries to push his buttons. But the only person that really whack him from doing that is, you guessed it, her. So she, and the rest of them always offend Deku from anyone. So then when that's why he doesn't have too many friends. So then when at the sports festival, sheesh, Zuko became, he was so innocently in the race, he outran Ida, Tinya, Todoroki, Bakugo, everybody, and he with such force that when he stopped, like done, under 1 second after they like said go, boom, done. That's pretty fast. So when and Zuko became, so Zuko had in the cavalry battle, he actually, him and I'm selecting teams, so bear with me now. From his class that was already there was him, the dart, or the guy that looks like he has that thing that I was saying earlier. Him. I'm trying to scroll in. And float thing. Her, the one with the red cap. It's black hair, not brown hair. That's right in the middle. So she, of course, both of them, and then and her horns, or actually no, him, the one that's in the down one, the one that has his fist up in the air, or not that one though, with a manga paper on top. No. But the one with a giant helmet thing that he got beaten by Ida, I think, to rewatch the anime. So his team won because so then the fight thing goes like the same thing as so it's instead of like a normal, sorry, let me go back up. Instead of normal, like Zuko Midoriya versus that brain dude and the mind controlled dude, and all the way down to Bakugo versus Oraka. It's actually, instead of having the brain dude thing, turns out it was Zuko's sister. Because Zuko and her was born the same age thing. So then when he and her start battling, of course Zuko won that round just fine, like done, boom. Because he went fast. Sorry if I'm going a little bit fast, so that yourself a time thing. It's like, okay, done. So Zuko is literally the most powerfulest one. So I'm skipping all that because it's almost as similar to the manga, but they're similar to the canon one. But so they go to, or actually, hold on. Hero Killer Stain in my what if was already dead because of, you guessed it, by Zuko. Because Zuko told, or when he was in that form, he says, well, the hero killer stain against the villain killer, here's Zuko, or darkness, as he was like, they both beat each other to a bloody pulp, but with his power, his demonic power, actually been over like in 5 seconds. So then he jumped away. Cops came in and like found out that Hero Killer Stain got defeated already. they see the he wasn't really dead. He's just got knocked out. Kind. Like One Punch. Boom. Done. Okay? Just like One Punch Man, but instead of killing him, it's like... So then, Zuko... the hero... Villain... Killer... Darkness thing. I forget to... Or they named him, like, Darkness Overload thing. He became... Or... He says... Darkness of... Or... Villain Killer's... Darkness has... So then when they heard that, they... Like, immediately became... Like... So they... So I'm skipping all that part. So... Then when Zuko... Or when they all went... To... I'm trying to remember. So... When Zuko became... Or when... Home... Or... At the camp thing... Deku got kidnapped. Or actually, yeah. Because All For One could sense Zuko's powerful form. So he told them that Zuko will be the number one target, no one else. As he, like, basically told the muscular guy that if you want to beat something, how about beat Zuko? Or this kid called Zuko. So that when they went, of course Dobby says, why are we grabbing that kid? Everyone knows that he's quirkless. As All For One says, no, not exactly quirkless. He has a quirk fused into his own body. Or actually, all the League of Villains. Sorry, my mouth is watering. So all the League of Villains wanted to hear what so All For One said as this: Zuko is a special kinda, and because he was born with a quirk that fused into his body at a very young age. His powerful enough to destroy all of us. He already took down a few hundred men of ours to becoming a top-ranked monster. So then Dobby is like, that's interesting. A boy that has a quirk infused with his entire body? Or Muscular says that. Like, I might beat him in a contest. As All For One looks or says to Muscular, he is not the something that you can easily beat. He can easily kill you quick and clean. So basically, he's just like Stain. But instead of fighting against heroes, he fights with the heroes too. And he says, yes, I want you to kidnap him and bring him to us. So then, at the camp thing, they grab Zuko and like they try to brainwash him at first. But then when he came like, stop it. Or when he, or actually, hold on, let me rearrange my words. He became, or when he was like that, as he basically told one of the wildcats that, and when everyone was sleeping, he told them that about, or actually, he told them that he has a quirk, but it's fused into his body. Like he says, well, you all are so unique and different from mine. All of yours, you all control your quirks. Like, instead of having it fused with you. Kind of like what mine is. Or opposite to mine. So he says that to the one with the mind reading quirk. So she tells him that, Zuko, you're the most powerful, you're the first person that we ever met that has a quirk fused into his own body. So then when he became, or when during that thing, after they kidnapped him, or they accidentally kidnapped, or no, they kidnapped his target thing. He was a target, so then when, hold on, let me, so Bakugo was like, come on, only person that was really fully awake was Zuko. He woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, he got up super, super early. Like, he, trained his quirk to becoming a lot more calmer and way more agile, and he had, so then one day, so Bakugo in the class 1A and 1B got up after Zuko, so way after. So they saw him train his quirk so hard that they're like, huh, see, someone's up and at him. He trains his quirk so much that, so Jiro and Momo were even impressed. And so when Zuko, here, let me go back. So Zuko turns around and says, hey guys, what's up? As So they're like, Zuko, how long have you been out here for? Well, as he puts his hand underneath his chin and he says, well, it's been, I got up at 5, came out here, like, right afterwards. Then I started my training. So they are like, what? You've been out here way longer than we ever had. So then all that happened. So then Zuko, or actually when, of course, skip all that, or that thing, because at night he doesn't have a second personality, but he actually his suit of armor thing, he like basically, or he first told like Bakugo, Todoroki, and he basically told them that and a thing were being watched. So they hold on. Sorry. So Bakugo was like, how do you can tell? Bakugo or Deku says, well, no. Between me and that villain killer darkness thing, we both can sense danger in every corner. Like so they so he walked through the mist of like that gas thing, punches that guy, walks into the flames, punched Dobby out, punched Todoroki, or not Todoroki, twice out, and he knocked out every single villain. Only villain that Zuko got kidnapped by was Mr. Compress. And that girl, the one that Magnus girl, I forget her name. So both of them took Zuko away from them. And they're like, okay. So, but when Zuko became, so they were like, okay, what should we do with him? And it was Dobby. Hey, I was gonna say Shiraki-san, but then I was like, no, Shiraki-san has the head quirk. So then Awful One decided to, or not Awful One. Shiraki-san says, let's just kill or brainwash him to become the hero killer or darkness thing. So then when Zuko was like, no, thank you, and he used his beam of like light thing as he shoots a beam straight up so loud that every pro hero could hear it. So they went to his location. They did the same thing in canon, but the... So then, to All for One's fight. Hold on. When he got to All for One's fight against All Might lost. Then Zuko saw All for One was going to kill All Might, but then he became the villain killer Darkness. Yes. And slaughtered All for One. Like he became the embodiment of it. As All for One gets up and says, this is what the true power of the infused power is. As he says his name, right, Zuko? As he says, I only do this to I'm powerful than you. As he, straight up kicks him, he used all of his power, and he even threw All for One into a portal. And guess where that portal is? That leads to his own pocket prison universe thing. So all of the Nomus, all of them try to grab Zuko, but ends up failing miserably and ends up killing all the Nomus with just one strike. And then when he revealed his true face thing, Bakugo, Momo, Jiro, and his own baby sister, that's what I call her, and him and her were all shocked that their friend, their brother, or actually, I almost forgot about Class 1B and 1A. They all were shocked that Zuko was villain killer. I said villain killer. His real name is Zuko Midoriya. As he turns around and tells All Might that, without me, you would have been dead already. As he puts his fist up in the air, like what All Might does, and he says, as he, the next day when he came back to school, the news reporters were surrounding him. Like, how does it feel to have this much power? How does it... Because it was not a. So they asked him that, what, how powerful are you, Zuko? Or actually, the news people told him, or asked him a bunch of questions like, how does it feel to have the, or do you want to become a hero and all that? He says, yeah, but I took my anger out on someone, so I feel glad about it. That was a dire situation. See, it was life or death situation. And he says, but now it's time for me to tell you all. Because he actually, or everyone in my what if, heard about the infused, or like fused, used like a human body with a quirk before. So sadly, no one could ever imagine them having it in their own bodies, like, because it's pretty powerful. So people of like today, or of in my what if, like, they can't even handle their own quirks fused into their own bodies. Like, kind of like what Nomus are, but way more grander scale. So, Zuko, where is he? I'm trying to, oh, sorry. Okay. Zuko says, well, you know, we all know the fused person, the, like, not confused, but fused. Like in polarization, to fuse one with the other to create something new. So then Zuko says, well, I am the fused, or my body fused with my quirk, infinity and darkness, everything. So, as news reporters and everyone around the globe says, wait, so you're the most powerfulest man in the world? Yes. And they asked, how many days till you die? I don't know. Or actually, I never die. Because he's actually immortal. They thought he was, like, gonna die because every other fused form thing, like fusion one, their cells and their bodies at least couldn't handle it, so they randomly explode at random times. So then when Zuko heard that, like, he says, well, I'm not gonna die, so, because I'm immortal, actually. Because one of my quirks, I have multiple quirks that fuse into my body, is called mortal. So I can be immortal all. And so then he says, I'm gonna go to school, so talking at any other time. So he literally did like All Might's jump. He jumped all the way to UA and Nezu was waiting for him. So, because he was like, you're not running late, so you're kind of early. Can we talk? As Zuko says, sure. First thing, as they went and talked on, and they all went. Of course, Nezu says, "How do you feel about becoming class 1A student?" And he says, "That's pretty fine with me." That's what I know that. So then he became, or they switched back. So then Zuko became class 1A, and then it's like. So then when Inko was like doing like cleaning the house thing, and she was done, she watched the news, and to her, like, she was so, like, in that, she saw her own son, because she saw her son becoming, like, darkness, or villain killer's darkness thing. She couldn't believe it was her own son that had that much power. So, and a hoarder, or not hoarder, sorry, his father, Deku's father, trying to look for him told Inko to calm down. It's gonna be alright. As Inko, or not Inko, Zumi walked right to UA, and she saw her brother, and, or before she walked even out of the house thing, their parents went to, hold on, sorry. So his parents, or their parents told her that if she sees him again, tell him that to come with you back to here. As she says, sure thing. After she arrived and she saw her brother in class 1A, she says, what's going on? As or he tells him, or tells her, that, well, Nezu who put me in this class, and it's because how powerful I am, and you saw that news thing. So his sister tells him to come with her back, or after school, to come to her house. But Zuko asked her the serious question, that he says is your parents' Inko and Astashi. Am I right? As she was surprised when she heard her brother says her parents' names. So she says, "Yep." And they want me to bring you back to a house thing. As he tells her that the this is he says sorry his own friend or actually he told her that before you were born, your parents told me, because they thought I was quirkless, but then to become, or if they ever see my face again, they would come and kill me. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm not gonna go with you. So that's why. Okay. So then after school he went back to his house, not his parents' house, not with what. So then his, or actually, it was kind of messed up at first. Like, so, Zumi, or actually when she got back to the house, Zumi and this Dashi, or whatever his name is, him, was asked her, well, is he coming? As she says, well, he told me that if you two saw his face again, you would have just killed him right then and there. There. That's what he said before I was even born. As Inko says, well, yeah, he has a grudge against us, or actually hit. So, and if you see him tomorrow, please tell him that he no longer needed to be worried about us killing him right then and there. Thing. Okay? Yes. Okay? So then, the next day, Zumi, that's what hers, actually told Deku, or actually told him to come with her to their house, and she said, or he says, sure. As, or Inko, or when they saw him So then the crime rate way before all that was down to 0, nothing. Like they tried to find a jobs. So then when Inko realizes who she literally, after she walks, or actually when, where is that thing? Okay, so after when Izumi walked in and Deku was, or her brother was followed by behind her, Inko, who was so happy that saw her own son, she ran up and hugged him because she knew that it was her kid, and so at first Zumi is confused, like, wait, what's going on? As same thing as Deku was confused. But then when he explained to both of them that, he explained to Deku, or he explained to Zumi, Zuko is her brother. When she when she heard that, she immediately jumps backwards, like, what? As she, like, literally was, and so Deku knew who his parents, so he didn't need to explain. So Zumi went over and gave her brother a hug. And when so they spend the rest of the day talking about, but then so when the next day, not Inko. Sorry, I can't keep a straight face. So, Deku and Zumi were early. So then the rest of them came in. When they saw, like, I'm using this image from from my what if. So when they saw Zuko and Zumi came here early, then Bakugo, who asked Zumi first that, why are you so early? Usually you're late, but you're early. What's up? So she says, well, I figured out who my brother is. Or actually, I'll just use this image, so that I don't have to go back and forth to each other. So she says, alright, I'll just sorry. What is it? Okay. She says, I found my brother out. Or I figured out my brother is. As they all who's your brother? As she literally points right to Zuko's direction and points right to. And when they heard that Zuko was, they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They just is he your brother? Yep, Zuko Midoriya. And, of course, Bakugo. Where is that image? So, where is it? So, Bakugo and Momojiro heard that name. They were so happy to have their friend back. So they did, and I'm like, okay, done. So then that exam or testing to becoming a hero, Of course, Zuko's Class 1A's team crushed the entire competition by just done. So then when they heard how powerful Zuko got, of course, Nezu, or of course, they all then Sir Night Eyes. I'm skipping that part of it, of the thing, because we all know who would win, hands down. Punt. So, Sir Night Eyes, I don't have a picture of Sir Night Eyes, so I'm using him as. So, when Sir Night Eyes says to Zuko to go, he actually, they told him to, do a lot of things. He even told Zuko, saying, hey, Zuko, what? I want, in this what if, instead of, normal Sir Night Eyes, the one that, always wanted to be technical one, he decided, Zuko, I want you to scout the entire area for this guy called Overhaul, because you're the man for the job. Because during his times, I said his times, during his time as a just called Villain Killer Darkness, he became, or he actually says sure thing. As him, or Zuko says sure thing. He got a lot better at his controlling his own power of his own body. So that when he became, or when he searched around, because Nezu knows that, or Nezu says, go ahead, don't worry about being here. So he says, are you ready? So he actually went on a, like, not a crime spree, don't worry. Not Bakugo, but Deku. Who? Where is he? He used his hero killer stain, or no, villain killer stain to, or villain killer darkness. That's what he was like, he knows where everyone's at, so he went right to the net and he saved Ares real quick, and he like destroyed the entire buildings of the Overhaul's lair thing. I forget, but when they battled against Overhaul, or when Overhaul was in his final form, like he just straight up done. And his, I don't have a picture of him, so I'm just using this one. So he was, when he was in his monster form, Zuko, like, and his light and his dark half fused into one and became chaos of the villainy, or heroes, chaos of heroes. So then he actually did one against, and Overhaul put him in prison, and when they came back to see he kind of looks like this, or kind of looks like him, but without that chin part, the hair on his chin, and he still had his green spiky hair, or half black, half white thing. He became embodiment of chaos. So when Inko saw him like turn into that, she says, "Can't believe my son is already having too powerful of." So his power level when he was in like his darkness, or in villain killer darkness form, he could beat All Might and All for One, and everyone in between. But when he became the chaos of heroes, or of villains, and he beats the entire population after population if he wanted to. But he didn't do that. He was so kind-hearted, so he actually knew where the doctor that was keeping All for One's real Quirk in, he basically teleported to there, grabbed the doctor and the All for One's Quirk, and he became the embodiment. So he basically he was the most powerfulest person in the entire world. So they're like, Zuko, calm the down, sheesh. He was pretty powerful, if I asked you all. He had so much power that they all thought he was going to die at first, but then when he controlled his own power, one time he accidentally created a universe, or not universe, he created a girl, like a his own son or daughter, out of thin air, right in front of his mother, accidentally. So then Inko was like, what the heck's happened? As he didn't even know what he. So the girl was so beautiful, it was her that he created. He did. So when she got created, she says, I am not Zeus, not Zuko. I was trying to figure out try to go for a theme. I am the hopes, oh, like life thing. I am life. Izumi is, or not Izumi. I am the embodiment thing. Like she, and then he, when Inko couldn't believe that because he accidentally made her her by just he created or he was trying to create like a salad thing but ends up making a person. I'm like this is whacked up whatever that I'm making. So if you don't have a sense of humor, go to someone else's what if, because they have more serious in them than anyone. So, and have fun. But before, so he didn't just made one. He made two or three. Three. Okay. So he made basically light version, dark version. Or wait, I should have been light version. Where is she? Or where is she? Dark version and the overpowered version. So they, when he accidentally made three right in front of his mother, and or, oh. So that's why. So instead of using this one, it was her, actually. So then they all knew who. So Inko was like, what the heck's going on? They're like, I have no idea. As it was her that she says to him that, or says to, or she explains, well, Zuko, or her father, Zuko, has the power to create new life things from his own will. So like when they're like, okay, so when they saw him like doing that, he was like, okay, done. He was just done. So then everything went like everyone lived and no one died, so that's why Dobby dated some random chick. Bakugo was dating dating or actually Bakugo got married to Zumi, and then Momo, Jiro, and Ochako went on a date with Bakugo, or not Bakugo, with Deku. It's like 3 dates in one. So then all three of them, or everybody got married and had kids. Zuko, who's had a kid of when Momo and him had a kid in called Zark. That's what he looked like, Zark. And Jiro and Deku had a kid called, and before I get into his kid, there's one thing that I'm gonna tell you about. This is the what if, so it's my character, not me, my character. So, and Jiro and Deku was like Herman. She had her mother's ears things, and she had was speakers on connected to her arms, like connected to her wrist thing, and she can do like sonic attacks. And for Ochako and Deku's kid had Grey Road. I'm trying to think of different names. If you tell me in the names for their kids, I'll be love. Who? Okay. So he tells them, or so he had his mother's gravity ability and his father's is darkness. Like he didn't like come in any cramps. It's kind of like how powerful he got in Bakugo and Zuku's is his sister had a kid that could be the. I'm trying to look for him. It kind of looks like, or actually, it was him. I know this is like looks like Zuku, but I'm just bear with me now, okay? So he has the or this is Blaine, like in Bloom from Winx Club, but bling, bling, bling. So he had his father's explosive quirk. He also has his mother's control of like gravity thing or bring stuff to him and the fire breath from her. So they all of them were like okay, and Hawks that was in the canon one in my what if Bunny Girl here. Don't worry about these ones. These are just weird ones. So Bakugo or not Bakugo. Hawks and the I forget or Hawks and that bunny hero, had a kid, and she was called Flamer. That's so. Flamer has this flying bunny as so she can become like super strong, super brave thing. Like she can also can because her because on the description thing, like her real name's Flamer and hero name Flying Bunny. Quirk's name is like Mighty Wings / Rabbit. Schools. But then when she gets to or when got to the Quirk thing, it says it allows the user to have the jump on the opponent and takes off really, really fast as asked Hindy, like the Hulk, but instead of using full power, it allowed her to get from one area to the second area. And she is a lot faster than Hawk's and Mariko's speed, but together, or put together, and she can use her wings as weapons if she wants to, and she can control her feathers to finish her opponent in battle if she wants to. And her weakness thing is flame and lightning. It's not. If you are curious, why did I put that? If someone used, like, say, Endeavor's fire quirk and lightning at the same time, I should have said that. At the same time, used at the same time, she can. That's her weakness. So then, when Zuko became. There was a lot of children that. And he actually had a power. Or he was a great babysitter. Everyone wanted to train their quirk so they didn't have time to spend time with their kids. Except for Bakugo and Todoroki. Or except for Zuko. He always has time for those kids. He was pretty good with them. Like teaching them how to use their quirks properly and from all that stuff. But then, out of nowhere, a villain calls herself Destruction thing. I'm trying to find her picture. She kind of looked like. I mean, she kind of looked like. Or actually, it was her. Because through those years that he was darkness, like villain killer darkness, through all those years, there was actually one girl that really wanted to date him so bad. But then when she heard that he got like forced to like have kids, she fell off a deep end. She because she watched her or watched him like she was stalking him, more accurate term. So when she like was like causing because she like was so upset, she became not like a villain, but she or Zuko was like, okay, I'm be right back. As she was crazy. Like she can basically she like was punching Zuko so hard. And she went up to him and she Like, she says to Zuko that I really wanted to see you transform into or darkness has form because you are always been my favorite hero or villain, killer, darkness. Or, or as she like walks up to him, touches him on a chest thing, and I always can't remember what anime it is, but it's a wacky anime that I'm trying to remember what it is. It was it was the bunny, or there was a character. Trying to remember her, or trying to remember it. So yeah, she had a quirk similar to Zuko's is quirk, but she actually when it is weird. It's not like anything sexual, but it's like she touched him on the chest and then she became pregnant with his son, or with, because of that power thing. She she like she wanted him to be his, or to be hers boyfriend thing. As he his own, or because how popular he was so popular that, and he was like, okay, done. And so few days later, she gave birth to her. Er, she, or actually, I'm trying to figure out something. Sorry. She created was her, and she, or actually, I'll just use, or actually, it was him. So he was so kind-hearted that just like her, just like his father, but on a way cruel level. Like, he can be calm at first, like in daytime, but at night he's just slice, slice, slice. But then, so as Zuko became, or actually, when Inko asked Zuko if, or actually his sister actually asked him if he was okay, he says, I'm fine. But I don't know who that girl is, but she had a power that I seen used on couple people, or actually, he says, I never seen that power before. But something tells me it's as his own, because his demonic thing, like his power, he goes like, no, 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 no. As he became the darkness again. Like he became, where is it? He became, I'm trying to look. He became this, and his darkness thing told them that, well, it is, I have seen it once. It's called Spell of River. So, River in this what if is similar to like if you touch a person, or when it's just like a power in that universe. When you touch a person, he person, you actually would gain its your person that you touch just traits and abilities. Like he, but then at the same time, it's like, so they ask, what does it do? He explains that it it's only to us, or it's only to me that wields it. It's, because I'm a guy, so I can take on their trade without getting my stomach bigger. And if it's a girl that does it, then they have, when they touch someone, they can also gain or their kid will gain their father's memories, traits, abilities, everything. Like copied. It's just like copy Quirk, but way more sicker on the other side. As he says, as he walks away, saying that if like say me like grabs Todoroki's ice power thing on his shoulder, I gain his traits and his abilities. But if I was a girl and did that, then having a kid. Okay? That's how powerful they are. So then he went back to normal and he says, yep, that's how it goes. Because Bakugo, or when Inko heard that from her own son, she immediately freaked out. Like, wait, if someone has your traits and abilities, would they be a powerful one similar to you? Not exactly, says Zuko. But if it's a girl has that power and it will work. So, and before we go leave again, this is Dylan Cheney, 500 grand. If you find him, bring him to custody and put him in prison for it. So, have fun. Don't die.